Sergeant Nick Ryan here with Ghost Ring Tactical, and in today's video we're going to be talking about home defense. It's a question I get quite often from males and females about how they can best defend their home in a home invasion. All right. So first thing to consider is going to be where you live. So where you live state-wise and your state laws. That's going to dictate what you're going to be allowed to do if you do get a home invasion. All right, so I'm going to be going off of California state law since that's where I'm at currently. All right. The second thing to consider is going to be your home layout. This is going to play a big part in developing a plan for what you're going to do if you get someone breaking into your house. So like for my house, I have myself and my wife's room is here. I've got my son's room across from ours. I've got my first daughter's room is right next to his. And then I've got my second daughter's room that's a little bit further down the hallway. So from there, I've got here, and then a long hallway leading into our kitchen and our living room area. So take into account kind of how the layout of your house is and kind of what you're going to have to do to be able to get to those points of entry. Third thing, like I just said, is going to be your points of entry. So where on the house would be the most likely spots for a home invader to come in? For us, it's going to be our front door and then our sliding glass door in the back. The next thing to consider is who else is in the house with you. Okay, are you going to have immediate family? Okay, like your kids, your wife, your husband, your in-laws, your parents, your grandparents, or maybe you've got that friend that sleeps on your couch and just won't go away. Okay, these are things that you've got to consider when developing your plan because they're going to be a part of that plan. The next consideration is weapon selection. There's a lot of different weapons to choose from out there. So, if your weapon, your home defense weapon is a pistol, then great, okay? I think that's your go-to. If you prefer more of an AR-15 rifle, okay, for home defense, awesome. All right. I prefer a shotgun when it comes to home defense. But the big thing when it comes to this is making sure that you have a weapons mounted light on whatever weapon system that you're going to be using. Okay. Have that weapons mounted light on it because most likely if you get someone breaking into your house, most likely it's going to be at nighttime. Okay. And you're going to need that light to be able to identify that it is a threat. Okay. So you can justify taking those shots. Now let's talk about the battle plan that I have for my wife and kids and myself. So if we got into a situation where we hear someone breaking into the house, number one thing I'm going to do is turn to the wife and have her call 911 while I jump up, okay, and grab my weapon of choice, okay, for home defense. For yourself, if you don't have someone to hand that task off to call 911, then I would suggest getting to your weapon first, hopefully dealing with the problem, and then being able to get on the horn and calling 911. But the first thing, the most important thing for you is to be able to get up and get ready to defend your house in case someone is charging down that hallway towards your room. So at this point, I've told my wife to call 911. I have grabbed my weapon of choice, and my next step is going to be posting myself, okay, at the end of this long hallway using the door frame to give me as much cover as I possibly can, okay? So most likely I'm going to be going down to a knee, okay, and just barely exposing enough of my body, just enough, okay, to see down this long hallway, okay, and get my weapon up and be able to engage anyone that's coming down this hallway, all right? So at that point, once I've got myself set up, I'm going to give that intruder a verbal command, like, hey, I'm armed, get the hell out of my house, I'm coming for you. All right, from there, this is why I like the shotgun. I'm going to rack, okay? I'm going to rack it back and let that intruder hear that sound. Most of us should know it's a universal sound of racking that shotgun that's most likely going to scare the shit, okay, out of whoever's in that house, and hopefully they get up and leave. Most intruders, once they hear that, they're going to take off, okay? Because most bad guys, they're going to rob the house as the easiest for them. If they have to fight for it, okay, they're gonna take off and go take an easier house. Unless that person is there to specifically hurt you, hurt a family member, something like that. So you've done this person wrong and they're coming for you. That would be the case where that racking, okay, of the shotgun may not scare them off and they're still going to come at you. Now, a lot of people ask, well, rack it back. Well, that means you didn't have a round in the chamber? No. Okay, I do have a shell, okay, in the chamber just in case if I had to pop around, okay, put it on fire and go, it's ready to go. This guy holds enough shells that I can rack a round out of it, okay, put a new one back in, and I'm perfectly fine. All right, so just want to cover that. I highly, highly suggest that you do keep a round in the chamber of whatever weapon you are going to be using for home defense. Like I said, I'm going to try to scare this intruder off the best I can because I do not want to get into a gunfight. All right, I know it's not the cool guy thing to say, but if I can keep myself out of a gunfight, I'm going to keep myself out of a gunfight. I'm going to scare this guy off so he doesn't come down this hallway and I do have to defend myself and my family. All right, now from here, I am going to stay in this nice covered position. I am not going to go and hunt this guy. I'm not going to go try to clear the house. Again, not a cool thing to say, but if you've been through any force on force training, you're going to find out that the guy that stays put in a nice covered position is usually the guy that's going to win. All right, there's no reason for me, and my scenario, doesn't mean it's your scenario, but my scenario does not require me to go hunting. Because if my children or whatever come out of their rooms or come to the doorway, I'm going to initially tell them to stay in their rooms. Okay. Some of the rooms have false walls where my girls can kind of hide behind. Some of them don't, but I'm going to try to keep them in their rooms and in place if I can. If your kids are young and they're just not going to follow those verbal commands, then getting them to come to you and getting them into a standard safe room, okay, so mine would be, our room, would be getting them into the room and keeping them safe there. But if you can, keep your kids in place, in the rooms, and then you deal with the threats. So you don't have to worry about, other bodies walking into the line of fire. Now, like I said, your situation may not be able to do that. Your kids may be downstairs and you're upstairs. And in those cases then having proper building clearing skills may come into effect where you may have to clear your house to get to your kid's room, and then there you're going to set that up as your designated safe room. Hopefully I've shared enough for you today that you know what you should be doing in the case of you getting a home invasion. All right. Now your goal is to sit down with your family, okay, or whoever else lives in your house and go over the plan with them. So then everybody in your house knows exactly what to do in case of this scenario.